Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. This AFC South divisional matchup features two young quarterbacks who were thrown in as starters. It's Blake Bortles going up against Marcus Mariota. With that, let's get up to Nissan Stadium in Nashville. With the call, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
We welcome all of you to Nissan Stadium on the banks of the Cumberland River in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans. And with a new rule, that decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he only gets to the 20.
Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Tonight's matchup features two quarterbacks who will be trying to lead their team to victory. It's Bortles' Jaguars going up against Carr's Raiders. With that, we'll get you out to Oakland, as we'll hand it over to our colleagues, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Thank you very much, Larry. We are here on a beautiful afternoon for football. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Oakland Raiders. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Now a first carry for Latavius Murray. And nothing doing on his first run. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
And this one complete to Seth Roberts. And a nice gain of 21 yards. And on this first drive, looks like they want to get that vertical passing game going early.
And they did, and what a warning shot they just fired. If you're not going to back up and play coverage deep, we're going to attack you all game long. And once you adjust to that and you start to back off, Then that opens things up underneath. A really nice start for them. Great way to get the game going.
And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. Second down. And here's a look at the starting offense. Second down following the incompletion. Shotgun now for Carr. And he'll hit the slant route. That's caught by Cooper. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
Play action. Now it's Carr. Cooper's got it. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
It's funny when I go back to our pregame meeting with Amari Cooper, and we mentioned, what if they play man coverage against you? He almost seemed offended by it, didn't he?
I'll beat it. That's basically what he said, right?
I mean, the best receivers we've ever talked to and covered, when you talk about covering them with one guy, they think that's a personal affront. They feel like if they can't just beat one defender, then they're not very good.
Right back to Cooper, and he got him again. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far in the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
Now a play fake here on first down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
All right, here we go. Wide at the 8.
Carr turns, hands to Murray. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Throwing his Carr on third down. Looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Prince Amukamara. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
And this defense feeling the encouragement. They stop him at the line of scrimmage on the first play of the afternoon. And the quarterback, he's got some big threats at wideout.
And they seem to get bigger all the time, don't they, Brandon? Every time I look out and watch a game, we're getting these bigger, more athletic, acrobatic receivers. We have some today.
On second down, here's Bortles. And his throw here's incomplete. And we take a look now at the defense for the Raiders.
Malcolm Smith may have entered the league without a lot of fanfare, but how about it culminating with an MVP award in the Super Bowl?
And the Raiders call on a nickel set for third down. Throwing his Bortles on third down. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was third and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
It's fielded at the 45. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the Raiders will take possession. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over, and the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he Russell told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
On first down, Carr. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
My high school coach, John Ford, used to say all the time, if you're in a bad situation, laddie, don't compound it with a bad decision as well. And I think that's what we just saw there. Harassed in the pocket, and he throws into double coverage anyway.
He called you laddie?
He called me laddie, and that was the nicest thing he called me.
He's going to go, and that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. Amari Cooper, 28 yards. And that touchdown drive happened very, very quickly. You knew that they had the quick strike ability. They showed it.
And for a defense that understands that, it still drives them crazy when it actually happens to them. Fast and furious, there came the points.
And he's got it. So the try for two successful, and that bumps their lead up even further. Now Janikowski following the score. He'll boot this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. There goes Green. He's at the 30. Touchdown, Jaguars. Rashad Green officially with a return of 108 yards. And the Jaguars move back within a couple of the lead. Jason Myers now for the extra point. He's got it, so they take just the one here, and that makes it an 8-7 game in the first. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's going to get this across the 20 as he's out of bounds at the 23. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. To throw, it's Carr. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
One receiver to the left is Cooper. Now Carr. And now another one thrown incomplete. Amari Cooper, his intended receiver, and it's fourth down.
So the defense forces a 3-and-out, but they got some help along the way. They threw it on first down, and when they were unsuccessful, it became second and long. Didn't get it again on another pass. Went third and long, and they almost had to put it in the air. They may want to rethink some strategy going forward.
And no move to pull Carr and the offense off. They're going to go on fourth down. Carr into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Paul Posluszny. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set to go again. And the first drive, 3-and-out. Second possession, and see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how the defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got a look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down.
We ready?
They go play action for Murray. Now Carr. And that's incomplete. The big tight end, Clive Walford, the intended target. And it'll bring up third down.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
Hey, we're going to run the ball, baby. Alert! Alert! All right, here we go.
From the gun now on third down, Carr. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
The offense staying out there. They look prepared to go here on 4th and 10. They do go for it. It's Carr. And here's another interception, the third of this first quarter. A great read, and it's picked off. Alongside the former defensive back Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Jaguar football as we begin quarter number 2. They take over 1st and 10 following the interception.
Here we go now. Blue 45.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. The All-Pro in 2 positions. Khalil Mack there to make the stop.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
The tight end, Julius Thomas, the intended target. And it's third down. Well, he just threw an interception last drive. Nearly another pick.
And things aren't very even right now, are they? It's a little bit sloppy out there, isn't it? It's kind of the difference between driving on those paved roads and those country roads that have those potholes in them, isn't it? 'Cause that's the way this game's going right now. A lot of bouncy bounce to it.
You spent some time on some Tennessee country
I
roads.
certainly have. Plenty of family back there. God love them. One of the great coaches said football is really a simple game. Rush theirs, protect yours. And he's talking about those guys throwing the football. In this situation, the rush won, hitting the quarterback and forcing him into an incompletion.
And that one will be no good. He never had it online. It's well wide to the left. And this score will stay right where it is. So an empty possession there. What do you think went wrong, Charles?
Well, it looked like maybe the plant leg might have given way just a little. And when that happens, guys have a tendency to pull through the ball to compensate. And in doing so, sent this one off target.
We ready? Wide and yay.
They begin the drive with a run by Murray. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
It's not always as straight as that team wanted it more than the other, but on that play, it actually was true. They were faster to the ball.
Again, it's Murray. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44. And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on second down.
All right, here we go.
Throwing his car on third down. Caught left side to Crabtree. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to fourth down.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
And this is caught. Amari Cooper. That one good for 10 yards. And they're able to pick up the conversion here on fourth down.
As a defender, I always found the slant route extremely difficult to cover unless you're able to jump on top of it early, because once he gets his hands on the ball, he's at full speed going away from you.
It all happens in the blink of an eye, doesn't it?
It really does. The timing is so important. That ball's got to be out of the hands of the quarterback and to the receiver like that. And if it is, you often get a very successful play.
A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll be a second down. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. One receiver to the left is Cooper. Here's Carr. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Here's Carr to throw, and he'll have his man. That's Cooper. A gain of 8 and a first down.
Quarterbacks like throwing the slant route, but they have to be careful about ball placement. They have to put it in a spot that makes sure the receiver has his body in front of the defender.
So the offense has it 1st and 10.
All right, here we go.
A toss to Murray. And some space here. And he's brought down, but not before reaching the 8-yard line. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Oakland after this. And the 8th play on this drive coming up. Murray, the lone setback. Throwing now is Carr. And this is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Amari Cooper with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Raiders add on to their lead. He's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
So 2 successful 2-point tries now for them.
And you know what it does? It gives you a boost, a huge one for your team because, hey, you're dominating them now. They can't stop you either scoring touchdowns or 2-point conversions. But how about the defense? You don't know what to do at this stage. You can't stop them in any direction.
Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Well, you mind if we go off topic for a second?
No, let's
you know
go.
I like to do that randomly. AFC playoff contenders for this year that didn't make it last season. Who do you have that might get in?
Well, I think Cincinnati's got to be considered there. Maybe they'd have an offseason that's calm, and they go into this season and try and get back to the playoffs where they had been perennials. How about Denver?
Yeah.
Remember last year they didn't have the quarterback to start. Trevor Siemian played pretty well overall, but maybe they can get solidified there and ride that strong defense right back into the playoffs. I'm going to give you a couple a little bit off the pace. Indianapolis cannot afford to squander Andrew Luck, one of the better young quarterbacks in the game. They've got to get back to the playoffs. And Buffalo, brand new head coach, brand new people running the ball club. Let's see if they can figure it out, because I think defensively they can be awfully strong.
Looking and finding Allen Hurns. It'll be a pickup of 14, but they're still a little bit short as it brings up 4th.
I think the training and practice broke down on that play because he simply didn't run the route deep enough to get to the first down marker, despite what was a really nice catch and toe tap on the sideline.
Well, that's 3rd down 101. You got to go to the marker, know where it is. And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it. Here we go on 4th down with Bortles. And they hit him as he throws, as this one's going to go straight down to the turf. Incomplete. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a beat on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out.
Tremendous field position there and a perfect time to do exactly what they did. Take a shot at the end zone, and they went for the big play, just unable to complete it.
Carr going to throw. It's caught by Clive Walford. And he's brought down. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Now Carr throwing on second down. And it's caught. Roberts has it for a Raider touchdown. Seth Roberts as the first half is winding down. And the Raiders add 6 to their lead. So they're going to go for 2. Carr will look to throw. And he's going to go down. Can't get rid of it. So a sack on the 2-point try. Now Janikowski following the score. He'll boot this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
To throw, it's Bortles. Over the middle, the connection to Hearns. There goes Allen Hearns. Touchdown, Jaguars. Allen Hearns in the final seconds of the first half. And the Jaguars are able to strike quickly for 6. Now Myers for the extra point. That's up and good. It's 22-14. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Now Jones. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
The final shot here before half for Carr. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. following the penalty. It's Ivory. And he's going to get this one down to the 45. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
It'd be hard to say that the defense wouldn't be ready for a first down run. When you can gain that kind of yardage against a defense, it's really kind of geared to stop that play. Your confidence has to rise, and now you've actually opened up your playbook. If you want to throw the ball now for play action, you're good to go.
Play clock winding down. On 2nd down, here's Bortles. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
It's always tough trying to keep your guy upright when he's trying to throw the football. When you're dealing with those big, bad guys on the defensive front, it's even tougher. And this time, those guys on the opposite side won the battle, getting to the quarterback and knocking him into an incompletion.
Throwing his Bortles on 3rd down. And he's got it to Hearns. 13 yards that time and a first.
And fit's the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid-type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
2nd and 1 and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
They'll come out in the pistol. Out of the pistol, Ivory. They'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19. Shift together here from the D-line. Now they'll throw it. Bortles. This will be caught at about the 3. And eventually stopped just shy of the goal line right around the 2. So they still get the completion even though the blitz was on. But the blitz got there. Does that stay in the mind of the quarterback the next couple plays?
That's what you're hoping for. That's what you're planning for. It's a little risk reward, right? You're leaving your guys on an island back there in man coverage. But you take the chance that you get to the quarterback. And so he gets completion here. Congratulations. Keep coming at him. And hopefully it pays off by the end of the game that you're starting to get to him while still able to cover on the back end.
Now Bortles. That's caught at the 3. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Here we go now. Green, 90. Black, 58, rail. Black, 58, rail. Left, 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 left.
Now Bortles throwing on 2nd down. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Mercedes Lewis from 3 yards out. And the Jaguars move back within a couple of the lead. Bortles is going to throw for it. And this one incomplete. So they went for the 2. They don't get it.
They made the decision to go for 2. They didn't get it. They remained down by 2 points. Should they have kicked it there?
3rd quarter, I'm okay with it. Maybe 1st or 2nd, you don't. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, again, I keep coming back to I don't like to chase a lot of points.
Yeah.
But I also don't know what kicking an extra point being down 1 does for me.
And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. Carr now on 1st down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. CD, wanted to get your thoughts just on the landscape of the offseason for each of these teams. Super Bowl in the rearview mirror, but so much going on. People look at the draft a lot, but there's a lot more that goes into the offseason for these front offices, is there not?
It certainly is, and then even before we get to the draft, you start with the combine, that's held in Indianapolis every year, and you have about 350 of the top prospects coming together to get their physicals and interviews and on-field performance, and all that will get evaluated along with their game tape. And then you've got the free agents, all right? That starts, I believe, in early March, where now the free agents can start moving around to different teams. So your team's starting to take a little bit of shape there, free agency, because then the draft's coming up. You're trying to put your team together with new draft picks, have everyone start to move in one direction. And then you have the OTAs and minicamps. We get to see them on the field for the first time. And we start to get a better idea of how these teams are going to look when the fall begins.
Fresh set of downs here. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Timing's crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down inbounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
One receiver to the left is Cooper. Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Carr. Roberts with it over the middle. And he's going to get this one down right to the edge of the red zone of the chalk. Back now in the East Bay. It's been a good one so far. Just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And this is caught. It's Cooper. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 18 yards there, and it'll be a 1st and goal. And that last reception puts him over 150 yards now on the game, Charles.
And now it's not just execution. It's not just performance. It's a mental aspect that's going on. Because right now, he's got the defense so much on their heels, got them looking at each other. Who's going to cover this guy, and what type of coverage can we put out there to try and slow him down?
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. Now some confusion offensively here as Carr's going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Again, they'll throw with Carr. And this is caught by Cooper for a Raider touchdown. Amari Cooper, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Raiders add on to their lead. All right, now a big 2-point conversion attempt still to come. Carr will look to throw. And he's got it. So the 2-point conversion is good, and they add on to their 4th quarter lead. Now Janikowski following the score. He'll boot this one away. Now the return, Rashad Green. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like they've got something going, and they feel like they can attack again and put more points on the board.
Are you scoreboard watching if you're the offense, or are you just focused on this drive? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Mario Edwards in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10, and now they're in the hurry-up.
Here we go now. 390. Z.
Bortles to throw on second down. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a third down. And there, the man coverage not good enough, partner, and they're able to complete the pass.
Excellent recognition of the man coverage, and they found the guy who could win downfield.
Bortles. And he dropped it. Now it was tipped. Altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now fourth down.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. Now Bortles got to have this one. And Robinson with a big catch. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and on fourth down, they're able to convert and move the sticks.
Not only is a slant route really difficult to cover, it's a real staple play for an offense on a fourth down because it's a quick-hitting play. Get the ball in the hands of the quarterback right to the receiver.
And the receiver has to be ready because that thing's coming on a rope. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. On first down, Bortles. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. Again, we'll see the pistol here. Bortles again here on 2nd and 10. It's caught right side. It turns. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
I think that run gives us evidence that the defense is getting a little bit tired out there. They've been out in the field for a long time, and that last run, they just cut right through him.
On second down, here's Bortles. Caught out left side by Robinson. Call it a gain of 5. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. So 3rd and inches, and this will be the 9th play of the drive. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So 3rd and inches, and this will be the 9th play of the drive. Bortles going to try and throw on 3rd down. And he's got it to Hearns. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. To throw is Bortles. This will be caught at about the 5. And eventually stopped just shy of the goal line right around the 2.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He had told his quarterback, just...
And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet.
And they put it in the end zone, which was job 1. Now they have to convert. And then it's decision time, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is what all teams go through. You look at the clock, you're inside 2 minutes, look at your timeouts, make that onside kick decision.
Yeah, how do you feel about your defense, where you are in terms of the scoreboard, and the time left on the clock, as you noted, so many things to go through.
And the lead is down to a field goal now. So they got their touchdown, now down a field goal. Here comes the onside kick. And the hands team for the Raiders able to secure it. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams.
This is caught inside the 15. That one goes for 36 yards. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
The offense operating inside the 10 at the 8 here. It's 1st and goal. And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it. And before they can get the play off, here's a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball. That's their first of this second half. Sebastian Janikowski on for the PAT. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Now Janikowski following the score. He'll boot this one away. This one fielded at the 5. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. They might be thinking this is close to a lost cause here. Got to play it out. What do they need to do?
Well, they have a thought process in mind already, but they can't get ahead of themselves. They know that they need to score quickly.
Yep, 2-score game.
Onside kick and get the ball back, and then score again. But they can't worry about the last.
Now he's hit, and Bortles fumbled. It's loose. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but if the other team doesn't get it, that's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film.